For years, I carried that betrayal like a weight chained to my soul. My best friend, the one I trusted with every secret, every laugh, every dream, had crossed a line I never expected. He's the one who whispered my name in the dark, who knew my hopes for him. And then, without warning, he turned around and started dating my longtime crush. I remember the shock, the disbelief that turned to humiliation. How could he do this? How could my sister, my own flesh and blood, give him advice on matters of the heart while I was left broken, cast aside like yesterday's trash? People told me I was a disgrace, an embarrassment to my family, a failure I'd never recover from. They said I'd never find love again, that I'd always be the girl who got played. The shame was suffocating, but deep inside, something refused to die. I looked at my reflection in the mirror and saw not someone defeated, but someone furious, someone who would not let this define her. That day, I made a choice. I would rise from the ashes, not just to prove them wrong, but to prove to myself that I was more than a betrayal. I decided to channel my shock into a fierce determination. No more tears, no more pity. I launched myself into a relentless challenge. Each day, a new attempt to sharpen my skills, rebuild my confidence, become unstoppable. I threw myself into self-improvement, attending classes, reading books on confidence and charisma, practicing my voice, my posture, my presence. I started dating again, awkward at first, but then with a newfound fire. Every rejection, every awkward encounter was fuel for my ascent. I transformed my pain into power. My confidence grew, not because I was trying to impress anyone, but because I was laser-focused on my own growth. I became the woman I always knew I could be, radiant, self-assured, unapologetically myself. I saw my reflection one night and realized I'd become my own hero. And then, the day came. I returned home, not as the girl who had been humiliated, but as a woman who had fought her way back. I watched as my sister and my former friend, those who once mocked and doubted, looked at me with a mixture of awe and cautious respect. They saw a woman who had turned her scars into strength, her pain into purpose. In that quiet moment, I didn't need to confront them with words. My presence spoke volumes. I had risen above their judgments, their betrayal above every lie they told themselves to justify their actions. I was standing taller, brighter, more alive than ever. Their words, their doubts, they faded into insignificance. This was my revenge, not in petty revenge or spiteful words, but in the fact that I had become better, stronger, unstoppable, despite everything. I had refused to be their failure, their punchline. Instead, I had claimed my story, rewritten my destiny. As I walked past them that day, I felt a quiet power settle inside me. I had turned heartbreak into a breakthrough. I had faced my darkest hour and emerged unbreakable. This is the truth of my journey. Betrayal tried to crush me, but I chose to rise, and in doing so, I became the woman I was always meant to be, and that in itself is the sweetest victory of all.